Hey, welcome to news. Yeah, it's a new series where I cover the best news stories of the week. So let's get into the first story. The Oscars. They happened on Sunday. I caught the second half because the first part I was on a school trip. We saw Midsummer Night's Dream, and it was like this low budget production. Honestly, should have won an Oscar. But anyway, what did I think of the Oscars ceremony this year? I thought it was like none of the people presenting categories were nearly as funny as they were the previous year. The only people that I really thought were pretty hilarious, given Jimmy Kimmel's opening monologue, he had some good stuff in there, but, some pretty good jokes, but nothing like guffaw worthy. But there were these two ladies that actually did pretty good job. Had some sort of self-aware humor about the Oscars. I'll just roll a clip.
But when we came out together, we know some of you were thinking, are the Oscars too black now?
But we just want to say, don't worry. There are so many more white people to come to.
So many. We just came from backstage, and there are tons of them back there.
Tons of them.
As far as the political side of the Oscars, I definitely saw it showing a little bit more this year. I'm personally not a big fan of all these big corporations inserting politics in these things that are supposed to be, enjoyed by a bunch of people, bringing up these divisive issues. The Oscars, I felt, have covered it more tastefully in the past because it actually related to the film business, unlike some of these other award shows where they're just sort of going off on these spiels, even though, like, guys, you're presenting awards for, music and stuff. But, the Oscars last year, they had the thing about the Muslim ban because there were people that actually couldn't get to the Oscars because of it. But this year, like, I thought Jimmy Kimmel had some good stuff to say, but then at the end, he's like presenting this jet ski award to people with the shortest speech. It's like he's coming up with all these things you can have in your speech. And he's like, you can mention social issues, representation, diversity, and all this stuff. And then, like, everyone followed suit. Like, everyone mentioned something about it, even when it really didn't pertain to their speeches at all. They just sort of said it. Especially clear in, like, the Coco Best Original Song thing.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Academy. I really want to take a minute to look at this category of incredible nominated songwriters tonight. Not only are we diverse, but we are close to 50-50 for gender representation.
They're literally, like, they're patting themselves on the back for having, we half of our people are women. It's like, okay, like, congratulations. Like, I don't think it should be this big display. They're just people like the rest of us. I don't know. They really stretched the message this year. I'm very cool with the Oscars recognizing that in the past, they weren't very diverse, and they're, living up to that, and they're making up for that. That's cool. But, like, they're really over exerting themselves for it. But anyway, yeah, that was the Oscars this year. Definitely not as entertaining or interesting as last year's. But, I do want to check some of the nominees, like Shape of Water. They look pretty good. I really gotta watch me some Guillermo del Toro. However, there were a few snubs, like Logan totally deserved the adapted screenplay. I think Baby Driver deserves some sound credit, and I think Blade Runner 2049 should have been nominated for Best Directing. As I said, why I love the Oscars video, and I think it probably should have won Best Production Designs. But, you know, I can't judge completely because I haven't seen all the films, but, you know, judging at face value, I'm just, I don't know, I was kind of more blown away by Blade Runner's design, personally. Next story. Next we have Blue's Clues returning to Nickelodeon for a reboot and holding an open audition for people to replace the old host. So, as a fan of the show, I am not gonna watch this new one. I have no reason to, but it'll be interesting. God, that's so weird to say, but it'll be interesting to see a whole new generation introduce themselves to the world of Blue's Clues. So anyway, they Nickelodeon casting post on Twitter, "We're so thrilled with the response to our search for the new host of Blue's Clues. More audition slots for our April 14th open call have been added. Register here. Stay tuned for more audition updates." In the comments, we just have a bunch of people shouting about someone named Garrett Watts. And he's a boring vlogger. He's just a boring vlogger. I even see a GIF here that says Garrett Watts is the perfect human being. Like, I honestly, I cannot describe to you the amount that people are requesting for Garrett Watts. I've never even heard of him. Like, who is that? Because my real vote for the next Blue's Clues host is, of course, the one and only John Cena. He's already hosting the Nick Teen Choice Awards for the people that watched that. But yeah, I mean, clearly he's the pick. You know, we have the old host, and then we have John Cena. Like, it's practically a perfect transition. Like, why are they even having this audition? It's such an obvious choice. Like, honestly, it astounds me. Nickelodeon, get on this. I am very, very shocked that this hasn't turned out horribly, horribly wrong. Because, you know, if you've ever been on the internet, you know, it always turns out great for these big corporations to hold public contests, you know, polls and stuff. Anything where, you know, that it then involves the internet, where they directly request the internet to help out. Like, they're always just kind, innocent. Next up, we have Marvel releasing the dates for some upcoming Phase 4 films in the cinematic universe. And yeah, here they are. July 31st, 2020, May 7th, 2021, July 30th, 2021, November 5th, 2021, February 18th, 2022, May 6th, 2022, July 29th, 2022. So it's opened up to a lot of speculation. People are like, oh, yes, it all follows this formula. But, like, Marvel is, you know, it's a little hard to predict in some ways. They might make a new franchise. Maybe they'll take 2 years to make a new movie, like Spider-Man Homecoming. Or maybe they'll take 3 years, like with most of their films. You know, what we do know is that Guardians 3 is going to release in 2020 because of this tweet from James Gunn, the director. But other than that, it's pretty unclear. I'd say hopefully one of those is Black Widow, because I really want to see a standalone Black Widow film, but it's unlikely because they said they only recently were, like, picking a writer or something. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting trend in recent years that all these companies have been really adamant about, you know, releasing the dates for upcoming films this far in advance. So, I don't know. I just thought I'd mention it. It's kind of interesting, but I'm not really marking my calendars yet because, you know, I want to see what movies are going to be there. Next, we have this trailer for the Grinch. It looks bad. It looks really bad. I'm not really one of the biggest haters of Illumination, you know. I thought the Lorax was fine. I thought, you know, the Despicable Me's were fine. You know, they're not really my thing anymore. But, you know, I didn't, like, hate them. You know, I wouldn't refuse to see in their movies. Unpopular opinion, Minions wasn't that bad, okay? it was actually pretty good. I was impressed with how much they were able to do. Okay, I'm just gonna get a bunch of dislikes for that. But this Grinch movie looks bland. Pretty much the whole trailer is just jokes. And they're not good jokes. They're not funny. I mean, they're really appealing to the lowest common denominator, which is not what Dr. Seuss really did. Like, he actually had pretty great, like, profound messages in his books, and it was actually interesting to kids. You know, I really don't think we should try to push all these really just low tier, just, you know, common denominator movies for children. I think they should have enriching, actually quality films. I don't think it would be terrible. I don't think it would be like the Jim Carrey Grinch movie, but you know, it's certainly not going to be as memorable because it just looks bad. It just looks meh. Next we have something a little bizarre. Obama is being paid to produce stuff for Netflix. That's weird. They didn't really go into too many specifics, but he says he's gonna promote other people's stories. Like, are we talking about multiple shows here? I don't know if I want my Netflix feed being filled with, you know, this sort of post-presidential propaganda, sort of trying to unite people around the brand of Obama. I don't know. That just, it's bizarre to me. It's not something I really wanted to see. I'd honestly rather Obama take, you know, some political stances and stuff. You know, and I know this is kind of monumental because, you know, most former presidents usually just retire after the presidency. But, you know, he's not old enough to do that, so he's sort of doing this. And I don't know. Seems like it would be bland. Doesn't seem worth my time. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is a thing. And it's releasing in October. And it has this logo. This is what developing a first-person shooter series for a decade does to you. You just sort of forget Roman numerals. I mean, it's kind of a weird move after World War II to do another Black Ops game, which, you know, is probably going to be futuristic, just like the last two. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna pick it up on day release, but if it looks as fun as Black Ops 3, I might get it. There were a lot of glitches with Black Ops 2. It was pretty fun. I love the maps, but like, I don't know. Hopefully it will be better than Infinite Warfare, which just looks pretty bad. Even just gameplay, I could just see the low amount of effort they put into the multiplayer. I don't know. It's not too much on my radar, but I'll be looking out for it. See if it's any sort of game changer, but probably not. It's probably just gonna be another Call of Duty game, and you know, that's fine. But it's sort of just a status quo now, and that's kind of sad. Next we have ESRB announced that they are going to be adding warnings for games that have in-game purchases, like around the rating, you know, where it says M, E, 10 up, you know, that kind of stuff. So basically it will be on a ton of boxes because a lot of games have in-game purchases. And, you know, this is sort of in response to loot boxes, but they just said in-game purchases, which, you know, isn't very specific. You know, I really don't care. I don't think loot boxes is gambling because you always know you're gonna get something. You can't possibly lose anything. I think they're certainly a frustrating trend in gaming, especially when they, you know, allow players who are willing to shell out money and you know, get stuff that actually increases their chances of winning in the game. You know, that stuff, not cool with at all. But, like, I just really don't think it's that big a deal. EA was EA. Like, they're gonna be greedy no matter what. And I do think that maybe the type of loot box, you know, methods that they impose on, you know, their games, you know, Battlefront 2, should be regulated. But honestly, for stuff like Overwatch, I don't care. I'm not gonna spend that money. But anyone who does, who cares? They're just getting cool looking stuff. As far as this rating thing, I don't think it's really gonna do a whole lot. The App Store has the in-game purchases warning as well, but you don't see any kids like that's not cool. I'm not gonna download this game and ask my mom to buy me some Classic Clans merch or whatever they have. I just don't think it's really gonna do much, honestly. And finally, we have the Nintendo Direct, where they announce like Captain Toad Treasure Tracker ports, Luigi's Mansion port for 3DS, a lot of ports, and then Super Smash. And also some Splatoon stuff. But yeah, I'm really excited for Smash Brothers. I'm probably gonna get a Switch before then if I can rake up enough money. But anyway, I'm not gonna go into a ton of detail because guess what? I have a podcast. Oh yeah, it's called KrazyKat. I probably uploaded it by the time that this video goes up, hopefully. But if not, I'm just stretching my arm out for nothing. But eventually I'll put in the description. You can check it out. It's gonna be with my good friends Ronzo and a little boy named Ethan. So yeah, we're gonna talk about video games pretty much, including this Nintendo Direct and really the status of the Nintendo Switch in general, and its 1-year anniversary and sort of what to look forward to, how we feel about in general. So yeah, I think that's going to be super cool. Definitely want to make that podcast a semi-regular thing, because I think it'll be fun. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy this first installment of news for the crap. Okay, yeah, that's why I have to go. So, yeah, like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you like my videos for some reason. Hit the bell notification or something, I don't know. YouTube Creator Academy tells me to do that. And as always, I will see you next video. Mighty Aurora.